Awesome.
It's like crazy, but she lives her own life.
Yes, yes, curl queen. I love it. So, hello everyone. Thank you for coming on the Show Must Go On line. Today's guest is the one and only Mandy Gonzalez. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Shell?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. It
Fabulous.
is amazing to meet one of your idols via Zoom. So, thank you.
Oh, it's wonderful to meet you. I'm so thrilled to be here, and I wanted to give a shout out to Curly Girls. So I'm very happy to be on here. I want to know your product line, what you're doing to continue those fabulous curls. So this is very exciting.
Yes, very exciting. This is just Brazilian, Jewish, Egyptian.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. I thought you would like that little combination of my ethnicity.
Love it. I love it. Oh, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, I feel very fancy. At home, I usually use like Weedod, as I know is like very in the family over there at like Hamilton.
I'm using Weedod today, and then a little spray of something with shine. But this curl keeps going so if it
Right?
does,
There's always that one. And before this, I was like, okay, wait, got the curls, got the curls.
yeah, they just have a mind of their own. They're like, hey, and today we're doing this. So anyway,
I know.
I'm happy to be here with you.
And I'm sure you'll appreciate yesterday I had this brilliant hair day and did not have one of these live videos.
That's always you look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. But the reason I don't have any of my products is because I'm from New York, but right now I'm in Washington State,
What? We're in Washington.
right near Arlington.
I tell your viewers, like, I'm actually on this street. No. Okay.
Right.
What are you doing in Washington?
My boyfriend is out here. This is where he lives. Actually, yesterday he flew out to Alaska because he is the captain of a salmon fishing boat.
Amazing. That's so super cool.
So
Okay.
cool. And I'm dog sitting at who's outside right now because sometimes he likes to be inside for these videos and sometimes he's like, it's a beautiful day, I want to run around.
Oh, good. We're having a beautiful day here on the East Coast as well. We've had maybe I feel like we've had like 6 weeks of rain, and it's been really unfair. But we have had those days which have been like these patches of sunshine, which has been really nice. So my dog is also outside. So, but you may hear him bark. He's very loud.
It could happen. And I'm loving that Heights poster right behind you.
I've got two.
Ooh,
So this one, and everybody can say hi to Lynn. Hi,
hey,
Lynn.
Lynn.
This one is actually from off Broadway when we were at 37 Arts. And so it has the entire cast and the entire band. And this one is from the Broadway production, as you see my blinds. It's from the Broadway production with the entire cast and some new cast members that came in. And my husband got them framed for me for Mother's Day. So
Oh,
they're brand new in my office, and I love, love, love them so much.
oh, that's a great Mother's Day gift.
Great. I was like, yeah. My husband's an artist, so he has a lot of ways of doing things.
Yes, I love that. So, how has quarantine been for you? I mean, you are a wonderful mother, singer, you've been doing these singing warm-ups.
Yes, I love them. You know, uh, first and foremost, I hope you're feeling well and I hope that you're safe. And I think that I'm so grateful to be in a place where I can be safe and with my family. So I'm very appreciative of that. Other than that, it has been, every day is like a new beginning
Yeah.
and an end. But no, every day is a new, I guess, like a new adventure in
Mm.
so many ways. My daughter just learned how to ride her bike. So we have
Oh,
been, with masks, taking bike rides around our neighborhood together. And now that it's warmer, and but yeah, I'm a mom and I do homeschool from 9 to 2, and we take a break at noon. And that's the time when I kind of warm up my voice and get it going. So I figured if I'm doing this warm up, I feel like there's other people out there that might want to warm up with me. And also, it's a way for me to socialize
yeah. I love it. Yeah.
homeschool day because I'm like, what's up? Let's So I decided that I wasn't going to, I was like, I'm going to do it every day. And then I'm like, Mandy, that's too much, because sometimes my daughter is, comes in and needs me and I have to go. So I said, I'll do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Eastern Standard Time, you can warm up with me. And every time I'm going to try to give a new warm up so that you can practice it throughout your week. Because it's so hard, as a singer and somebody who does 8 shows a week, and I'm so used to that, and my voice is so used to that, I need to kind of keep it, I have to keep it in shape.
Yeah.
So I know that there's other singers out there like that, or other people that maybe just want to warm up and have a minute away from, the everyday schedule of what's going on. So I was like, I'm going to make it for everybody.
I love that. Yeah, I have a bunch of people here saying, hey, and that we're on it. My girl Lisa, who is a Showtreon, that's part of my bwaySHO Patreon. Love them. Awesome.
Right. Work it out.
She said, please tell her I really enjoy morning coffee with her via Facebook.
Ah! My morning coffee, and I have like the biggest coffee cup I think you've ever seen, but I feel like every parent at this time can relate.
Yes.
That the mornings, they just come too fast, and the coffee always helps. So before I start my daughter on her full day of work, I have my coffee and I chat to friends on Facebook. I'm a very social person. So this quarantine is very hard, because I love my friends and I love New York City and Broadway. And so it's hard to I mean, my family's fantastic, but it's like, I need my friends, my people. So,
my people.
My people. So it's nice to reach out on social and just be like, what are you guys doing? What's happening? So it's nice.
Yeah, that's actually how this whole thing got started, because, as a theater journalist, I'm used to going to cover events, and there were opening nights, and I, just going to shows. It's amazing. And then I could see that there were certain people doing these live things, but they weren't as much just positive conversations and talking and connecting with the community. And I think that's what's so beautiful about these, is people are commenting on the YouTube, and it's it's a fun way to spend an afternoon.
It is. It's a great way to spend an afternoon. And I tell so many students that I work with, it's so important to find your safe space. And that's when I encourage them to do the warm up in that space, because you are sharing this space possibly with other people that are trying to do something else at the same time that you're trying to express yourself as an artist. So but it is important. It's important to do things that make you happy, to watch shows that that uplift you and inspire you. So I'm glad you're doing it.
Thank you. Glad you came on. Yeah, it's funny because I've been listening before these videos. I always listen to interviews or songs that you've been in, just to get in the mood. But Breathe is one of my constants. And Fearless, truly, they're so inspiring, and it's really cool that you sang them.
Oh, thanks. I think so too. Thank you so much. I feel so, like everybody, I love to sing. It's been my passion since I can't remember a time when I wasn't singing. And so it's my way of expressing myself, and it brings me the most joy. So I love that I'm able to sing and be recorded so that it brings joy to other people. So I feel very lucky.
Definitely did that. So I'd love to just do a little bit of your origin story. I know you've spoken about it a lot, but you've had this wonderful career, and people might know you from different parts, whether it's with Bet or Wicked or In the Heights or Hamilton. I mean, it's just nonstop.
Yeah. Love it. Work. So I guess it all began when I was born in Los Angeles, California. I grew up in California, and I'm the youngest of 3. So I have a brother and a sister, and both of my parents worked full time. And I always felt very lucky in a way because they both worked. I spent a lot of time with my grandma, and my grandmother was very much into musical theater and singing, and like big, like torch, like singers. So I fell in love with music through Ethel Merman and Judy Garland and Edie Gourmet and just Tammy Terrell, like anybody that had this big voice that my grandma loved, like that's who I loved. And my grandmother, saw something in me, and I was the only grandchild that sang along with her. And so she was like, we got to put this girl into lessons. She sings too loud. Little did she know that would help me, serve me later. But we have to figure out so she doesn't hurt herself. Mm-hmm. So there was this really great dinner theater down the street from my grandma's house called the Showboat Dinner Theater. And a dinner theater is where you sit and eat a meal and people do a show. And I thought it was like the best place ever because not only because of the show part, but it was a place that my brother could also tolerate. And they had all you can eat pickles. Ooh. So two of my favorite things, like all at once. So my grandmother, we saw Man of La Mancha this one time, and the Aldonza, she had this incredible voice. So my grandma went up to her and said, my granddaughter can sing, but she needs lessons. And the woman said, well, I'm a singing teacher. So that's how my singing teacher, I found my first singing teacher, and I started to learn my foundation of singing. And that happened when I was about 7. I started really, really young. And it's just because my grandma she loved it so much. And she was she went along with me. So she took me to every lesson, and she would pick up a pack of Winchell's donuts. I don't know if anybody knows that. They're very West Coast. It's kind of like Krispy Kremes. Yep. And not the same. They don't taste the same, but it's kind of like that. And there would always be 3 missing because she would always eat a few beforehand. But she would be like, okay, it's time for the lesson. And I just loved it. I loved those car rides with her and singing with her. And so that's when my love of musical theater really began. And then I did everything. My grandma put me in lessons. She put me in performing groups. I performed in malls. I, would sing kind of anywhere that anybody would allow me to, every family function. And then when I was 15, I went to a musical theater camp called Broadway Theater Project. Mm-hmm. And it's still around. It's in Tampa, Florida. I got a full scholarship. And I went for 2 weeks. And at that time, it was run by Anne Rankin. Okay. And it was like theater heaven. Everybody there was around my age. We were all in high school, and it was 2 weeks. We were away from our families, and every day was a new class for what I loved with people that were the best, around the country. And I loved it. And they brought in teachers like Gregory Hines and Treat Williams and Jeff Calhoun. And I was like, this is amazing. And when I got home, I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. And then I went back and I did high school theater. And I did, I did community theater. And then I wasn't really ready to leave for school. I really wanted to go to New York always. But I wasn't ready because I am very close to my family. I tell you a lot about my grandma. And I wasn't ready to leave my mom. And so I stayed and I went to school for a year at a school called CalArts in California. And during that year, I was also in a band called Any Old Charlie. And we used to play at this dive bar called Jack's Sugar Shack in Hollywood, California. And so I was getting and I also joined this other band called Big Fuzz and the Fuzzettes. And it was a band. So I got a feel of everything. And at that time, I also put together a one-woman show at I can't remember, the Roosevelt Hotel. The Cinegrill. Oh, it's all coming back. It's all coming back. But so I did this show at the Cinegrill. My musical director was this guy, Bill Schneider. And Bill was also Bette Midler's vocal arranger for all of her background vocals. So when I was at school at CalArts, big circle, but I'm coming there. I
love it.
When I was at school at CalArts, Bill called and said, Bette is having open calls for harlettes. Do you want to go and stand in line and sing to be a harlette? And I was like, absolutely. So I went, I stood in line. And I made it through all of the auditions till the end. We had to dance, we had to sing. I had to sing in 3-part harmony. And then the final audition was for Bet. And she came in, and I mean, I'm like, like I love her.
Of course.
That doesn't change, like having worked with her. And she came in this like 2-piece green suit. She looked so fabulous with these glasses. And she gave me my first job. And I was a backup vocalist with the band, but I also had different like crosses that I had to make, and I had to wear this one outfit that was like a G-string. My dad was coming to the show, and I was like, oh my God. But it was amazing. Yeah. So it took me away from California, and it took me on the road, and I was on the road with her for about 6 months. And we played New York. We played Madison Square Garden 2 nights. We played Jersey, and we stayed at the Plaza Hotel. And at that hotel, I just loved New York. I was like, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. And so I saved all that money from that tour, and I moved, and I never stayed at the Plaza Hotel again. I moved to Brooklyn. And I got a job, and I bagged groceries in the morning for really wealthy people. And at night, I worked as a hostess coat check girl. And during the day, I auditioned. Wow. And I went to every open call I could possibly find because I didn't have an agent. Right. And I booked my first job after 6 months in New York at the Vineyard Theater in a show called Eli's Coming.
Yes.
And the show starred, and I was so naive at that time, but it was directed by Diane Paulus. It starred Judy Kuhn, Anika Noni Rose, and Ronell Bay, and Wilson Jermaine Heredia. And it was about the music of Laura Nyro. I mean, it was like the ultimate dream first job. And so that job changed my life.
That's where you got the OBIE award, right?
I won an OBIE award, an Off-Broadway award, and then the producers from Disney Theatrical came and saw that show and saw me and asked me to audition for Princess Amneris, for Aida. And so that started that whole trajectory. Like I auditioned, I got the job as Idina Menzel's understudy, another curly girl.
Yes,
and,
yes. One of us.
We won. Right. And she was so amazing, honestly. Like Idina was such a wonderful mentor at that time in my life. And I'm so grateful for that time. I did every reading. I did the Wicked reading. I was in the ensemble for the first reading of the first act. And then from there, I did a show called Dance of the Vampires. Yes. And I was like, this is going to be amazing. And then it totally bombed. And but it was with Michael Crawford and directed by John Rando, Renee Bergenbois. I mean, it was incredible. And my life has just been continuously going on this different like track, So that's how it all started.
I love it. It is such a strong origin story. Like, it is amazing how the small parts that you don't necessarily think like, oh, this one show, or like, I remember going on Teen Travel and we saw Hairspray and I was like, what is this? And that's how I became obsessed with musicals.
It like changes your life, and if you're that person. Yeah. Like I talk about my brother a lot because I always say that for people to find their safe space in case they have a brother that's like, be quiet all the time, because mine was. But my brother is so proud of me, and I'm so proud of him that whenever he watches Family Guy, he'll always be like, oh my gosh, they just played Shapoopy. Like he knows all of these musical references. He knows who Patti LuPone is. He knows all of it because of my obsession and love for it, So I think that's really cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's not often in your life that you can meet a significant other that has so much love for a certain show. I've seen Hamilton 8 times. I've seen 8 times. Not as, but I did see it in Puerto Rico on Lynn's birthday, which was amazing. Lynn. Oh, hey, Lynn. And he has seen it 48 times.
That's amazing.
Right?
How did you get tickets?
Right. Well, he's never saw original cast. He's seen a lot of we saw it on Broadway. He took me to London on my birthday, Chicago. Wow. you
And
know,
now
it's
we're also going to watch it on Disney Plus with the original cast. It's going to be like a full, now you guys have done it. You've seen it all, you know?
right, exactly. I am so excited for that. And yeah, it's crazy to think that like my 10th and his 50th will be at the same time, which it's absurd.
But that's love.
It
That's
is.
real.
It is. It's so cool. Yeah, so I saw Hamilton for the first time with you and Javi back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, it was so special. I was being a reporter in Texas. I was an on-air reporter and anchor, and I
Well,
came home, West Texas in Odessa for CBS 7,
nice.
your breaking news and weather authority.
I got Texas deep in my heart.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
It is. I love it. And yeah, I went to the box office, and I always tell people just go to the box office because I went on that Monday. I didn't think they'd have anything, but I said, what do I have to lose? And they were like, well, we have a couple of tickets for Wednesday. And I was like, what? So my friend Julia, who introduced me to Hamilton, took me, like we went together.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, it's
I love
it's such a special show.
it's an incredibly special show, and it means so much to so many people. And it's our history, you know, and it, I don't know, it's so overwhelming sometimes when before, you know, the music starts and the lights go down, and every night the audience cheers. They're so excited, and you think about everything that everybody in that audience has been through to get there for that night, and how
Yeah.
special it is, and how hard they had to work to get those tickets and to purchase those tickets. And none of it, I don't think any of it is taken for granted by the creative team, especially, and not the cast. You know, we feel so honored to be a part of it.
What do you think it's gonna be like the first show back?
Oh, it's going to be like, yeah! Like, I think everybody's just so excited, and that's why I love that they're releasing it on Disney Plus for, like, I think it's on the 4th of July,
Yeah, I
around that.
think it's like the third, and then so it'll be the weekend.
It's very fitting because it's like hello and heights.
Yes.
But I thought, because it's an American story, and I think that we all need to hear it right now. You
Hmm.
know, we all need that inspiration, and if you don't listen to it on your work for your workouts or whatever, you're listening to it somewhere. So it's a part of your, like, now it's a part of so many people's, like, history, you know?
Yeah.
So I love it. I just think it's so great. And they're all my friends, so I'm just so proud of what they created, you know?
And what a time for In the Heights, with the movie coming out next year, and then Hamilton.
It's so wonderful, and it's so deserved, you know? They've all worked so hard, and it's exciting. It's exciting to think that somebody is going to fall in love with all of these characters for the first time, a whole new generation, and that just brings me so much joy because all of these characters were made with so much love, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you can feel it, right? You can feel it when you're in the room where it happens.
Absolutely.
It's just like nonstop in my brain, just reference, reference.
I love it. Yes.
I always like when people appreciate it.
I think everybody, it's just a part of our vocabulary now.
Yes.
So when you do think of different things, like when you say, oh, work, you're like, work, like all of a sudden your arm just comes up because it's like part of it.
It's just like a reaction.
Yes.
I love that. And even just like Fearless Squad, right? There are a lot of people talking about that and, what an inspiration you are. Like it is so nice to have this community where people lift each other up. And I was listening to your interview with Rory O'Malley earlier,
Oh,
and
wow.
and what I thought, there's this like kind of in an odd way full circle moment. You were talking about this mother-daughter combo, who this mom said that her daughter had cancer and reached out to the Fearless Squad to lift each other up and like to
Peyton Strong, yes. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so to now have the Broadway community like lifting you up, how do you feel about that?
I feel, I created the Fearless Squad because I wanted people to have a place online of that would be inclusive and give people a sense of belonging. And I thought that if you didn't have a squad, well, you can be part of mine. And it really has changed my life. And at this time in my life, it has never been more relevant. You know, I was diagnosed with breast cancer this past November, and I didn't know really how I was going to get through it. I didn't, you know, it was my first mammogram. I'm young, I have a young child, and nobody in my family had had cancer. I didn't know like the next step. And had it not been really for my family, but my other family, which is my community on Broadway, I don't know how I would have gotten through it. But I'm proud to say that that I am a breast cancer survivor. So I'm happy to say that. I'm proud to say it, and I know that it didn't happen by myself. And I think of so many people right now that are just being diagnosed, and I want them to know, like, and this is something that I've always said in Fearless Squad, is that they're not alone. Yeah. And you have so many people with you, and reaching out and being vulnerable and sharing your story, it doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. So if you are going through whatever you're going through right now, make sure that you reach out, that you don't go through it alone.
Right. The community is what makes everything so strong, right?
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
It's so important. And I think it's just, I don't know, it's where I come from. You know, community is such an important part. But when you're a part of a theater community, you realize that things don't happen on their own. It takes an entire team to make something magical. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think having that already, having that squad made me feel like, well, if somebody else is looking for that safe space, like, why not just create one? So I love it because they, you know, because it's been around now for 3 years, and some people that have, you know, were around at the beginning, you know, now they've graduated high school, they're like going to college. Some people, you know, Peyton, I'm so happy to say that she is also cancer free, and that she's thriving, and so I'm so proud of everybody that's a part of it. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, my friend Julie Larkin here, in my like theater circle, she's saying, from another survivor, it is so important what you're saying.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I think especially right now with COVID happening, you know, when I first was diagnosed with cancer, it was like my world, it was like everything stopped for me, but the world kept going. But now with COVID, it's kind of like the world has stopped, and yet cancer patients have to keep going. We have to keep getting our treatment. We have to keep going to all of our appointments. And it's hard, you know, because you're going to all of these things alone. Yeah. You know, I did my last chemo treatments by myself, and you're in a lobby with other people that are also alone. And that's when you realize, like, well, I guess we're all in this together. So I encourage anybody going through any struggle right now that you're going to make it through. Just keep going.
I love that. So inspiring. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's the truth. It's my truth now. You know, I'm proud to be. I never thought that I would be part of this conversation, but I'm very proud to be part of it.
Yes. Well, thank you for those words. And we only have a few minutes left, but I do want to ask my friend Elisa, who goes by Dr. Drama. She said, ask Mandy about Nelba and Anna Grace.
Oh, Nelba is a friend that I made through Fearless Squad, Nelba Marquez Green. And we became friends, and she is now one of my dearest friends. And she lost her daughter, Anna, to gun violence. And but through the Fearless Squad, we have developed an incredible friendship and love. And she supports me as much as I hope that I support her. She's a true friend. But that's
it's amazing. It is when you meet people, even online, like some of my best friends I've met through these communities, and just by lifting each other up, you realize your common interests, and that when you're having a dark day, they're there to lift you up.
Absolutely. It's friendship.
Yeah. You
know, that's what friends are about. And I learned that, you know, when I first was diagnosed, it was really hard for me to tell my friends. And it wasn't until, because I never wanted to be like, you know, they're busy. They got their own lives. I never wanted to be that, like, how do you call somebody and be like, hey, guess what? But when I finally did, it was like it released something for me. And I really felt like I was no longer alone. And my friend Janet DeCall said to me, like, this is what friendship is about.
Yeah.
We're here for one another through the good times and through the bad, you know?
Exactly. Yes. And just switching ever so slightly, whenever you and Chris Jackson sing When You're Home, it is like something magical is happening.
Oh, well, there's nobody that I love singing with more. I feel like we grew up together, and it's so easy to sing with Chris. I mean, he's such an incredible talent. And then when it's like, I don't know, we just fall into place, you know? I have so much love for him and his family, and he's my family. So it's like, it's just the best.
What was it like doing the Ham for Hams? Oh, sorry, there's that delay.
What was it like doing the Ham for Hams? Well, I only did one. I only did the one with Chris, and it was crazy because the mic went out. And oh, am I out?
No, it just looks like it like fogged up or something.
Oh, I'm like did that from my camera?
I think so. Oh, there it is. That's better. It was like an Elphaba moment.
This room must be really hot. So the mic went out, so I had to use a bullhorn, which makes a lot of sense. I told you I'm really loud. Yeah. It really helps elevate. It kept going. I mean, it's showbiz.
The show must go on.
Exactly.
So I always like to end these asking if there are any nonprofits or anything that you want people to keep an eye out for with you.
I think there's so many, you know, so many beautiful like organizations right now. BCRF is Breast Cancer Relief Foundation, and they do some wonderful work for breast cancer. The Actors Fund is a wonderful organization right now. We're all going through it. Yeah. So, and here's my daughter.
Hey.
Okay, I'll come down. But I gotta go.
Yes.
It is.
Thanks for coming on, and thank y'all for watching. We'll see you at the show.
All right. Bye, SHO.
Bye.